Okay, what we've got here is a video about a couple of 55-gallon water barrels, or barrels. They're plastic in construction. They're used. Very good shape, no cracks, no damage to the barrels. Now, I want you to keep in mind that this video is several months old. I'm just doing some narration for it. The audio that was recorded at the time of the assembly and installation of these spigots into the barrels was very flawed. It was very bad. So if I miss something, just bear with me. The end of the faucet or spigot is threaded, so you can attach a hose to it. And I'm having a hard time because there's somebody that I won't let in the room during this process to listen to the narration and watch the video at the same time. She's got the giggles tonight for some reason. But a few inches up from the bottom of the barrel is the point where we're going to drill or cut with a hole cutting kit attached to the end of the power drill. Drill a hole that is just under 3/4 of an inch in diameter, because the PVC spigots that we're dealing with are 3/4 inch. Each piece is cleaned, primed, allowed to dry, and then we go through the assembly process. The base piece is threaded, and we wrap it with Teflon tape or plumber's tape, depending on what part of the country you live in. You may call it something different, but something to remember about Teflon tape is when you wrap it on the threads, it's very important to remember that you wrap it in the proper direction. That way the tape tightens down into the grooves of the threads as you thread it into the barrel. If you wrap your Teflon tape the wrong way, you will quickly realize what you've done, and then you'll have to start over. We started the threading process for the base piece of PVC pipe or attachment, and then just used an adjustable wrench after applying a little bit of glue and cranked it down. Just basically hand tight. You don't want to over tighten it, because the hole in the barrel is not threaded. The hole cutting kit does not thread the hole. It just makes a straight hole. And we've got a little bit more assembly. Excuse me. Now we got a 45-degree angle piece, or as someone else in the family might call it, a 135 in the opposite direction. It's kind of an inside running joke that we have when it comes to PVC plumbing pieces. Anyway, we've got the angled piece because of the tapered direction of the bottom of the barrel. Using a 45-degree angle enables us to have a better position for our spigot, more level, and it forces it to protrude out from the side of the barrel more, but it gives it a more level position based on the height that we're positioning the assembled spigot. So again, we're priming. Remember, when you're anybody that's ever worked with PVC, we all know to be careful, as far as the fumes between the primer and the glue. It's strong stuff. And just a moment ago, Angie was pointing out the still incomplete solar panel project that we were working on before we picked up the barrels. So we've got a little bit more assembly, putting the 45-degree, aka 135-degree piece on, and the inside piece, which we're now gluing, and attaching the final piece of the spigot. Now we've come up a few, 2.5, I believe, 2.5 to 3 inches from the bottom of the barrel, for the placement of the spigot, which means that yes, we won't be able to get down to the final last drop of water, but I'm okay with that because in the event that we have to use these for maybe unclean water storage or rainwater, it'll allow any kind of sediment to settle into the bottom. But one of the major things about this whole barrel system, installing the spigot, is to remember, you do want a certain amount of clearance from the bottom to where you position your spigot. And with ours being 2.5 to 3 inches from the bottom, we've got perfect placement as far as putting it on a flat surface and still being able to turn the valve control knob. Now, the other thing that we realized is you cannot allow yourself to rely on the bond of the glue. As you thread the base piece for the spigot assembly into the barrel, don't rely on that forming a watertight seal, because you're going to have, we are going to have 55 gallons of water pressure bearing down on these spigot assemblies. So it's not really smart to just rely on the glue and how tight the threading into the barrel is. So what we did is there was enough threading on the inside of the barrel from the spigot assembly to attach a threaded collar with a rubber seal. It's about a 2-inch rubber seal, but it'll fit the 3/4. The hole in the center of the seal is 3/4 inch, and it just fits nice and tight around the threads. And then you can take that collar on the inside of the barrel and thread it on to create your watertight seal from inside. That's vital. I think when it was all said and done, the amount of money that we spent as far as hardware, because we had to buy glue and primer, because what we had was either no longer available to us, we didn't have it anymore, we had run out, or it had dried up and just not been stored properly. So that's a learning experience in itself. But I think when it was all said and done, it was less than $10 total for the spigots. We paid somewhere in the range of, I think, $40 to $50 for both barrels. But it's a good system. It worked out really well. Hope you've enjoyed the video. Get back to us on any comments or remarks that you might have. Thanks for watching.